Okay, we're going to do our third and final part, which is the matter part. What does this demonstrate or illustrate about the character? How is this person depicted? Or how does this passage relate to the theme of social status and class? And here's a sentence frame that can help you write your sentence. First, let's reread our paraphrase um, of this passage here. So let's reread it again. Nick is sick of life in the East, but he's still tolerant of Gatsby. Nick believes that personality is a type of performance, and that Gatsby is the ultimate performer, or he performs a lot of good acts. There is something gorgeous or beautiful about Gatsby's performance, according to Nick. Gatsby is beautiful because he still believes in his dreams, and it's more than the average person anyways. And finally, Nick ends with a comparison of Gatsby to a seismograph, because Gatsby is very sensitive to his own dreams. What does this say about Gatsby? Well, you can start off with this passage demonstrates, portrays, use a little bit bigger language here, because you're all big boys and girls. This passage portrays Gatsby as a what? As a dreamer, I said. As a dreamer, sentimentalist, romantic, of those words. Because how do we know that? Well, this is because Gatsby's very what? Sensitive to the promises of life. This is because Gatsby is very sensitive to the promises of life. Notice how I have it in quotes, and then I had to put a page number there. Okay. He is more sensitive to the promises of life than the average person because Nick compares him to a seismograph or an earthquake machine. I don't know if you've ever seen an earthquake machine, but there's like a little needle and it trembles when an earthquake is happening maybe a few miles away or even many miles away. And this, in fact, it says 10,000 miles away here. That's a very strange comparison when you think about it. Gatsby is being compared to a machine, an unthinking, unfeeling machine that just kind of trembles to try to trembles at the earthquake, right? You think about a seismograph. Let's look at a seismograph here. I'm going to look up Google Images. Think about it. It's kind of like here's a good picture right here. There's a little needle here, and whenever there's an earthquake, the ground shakes, and therefore the needle will start shaking like this, right? It's very sensitive to movement. Well, then Gatsby is very sensitive to what? To the promises of life. But the problem here is, what are those promises of life? What are the things that he dreams about? You're going to find that later on in the book, but at least we know, if you've seen the movie, or at least the first two chapters, that perhaps Gatsby's into like money, right? And the fame, and that kind of Kardashian life. So that sort of life is what he's trying to be sensitive to and trying to capture. Does he capture it completely? Well, he's still a machine, right? He's still not 100% part of East Egg. He's still not 100% part of the old money. So you have to keep that in mind. So what I'm going to say here, this passage portrays Gatsby as a romantic. It's because Gatsby is very sensitive to the promises of life. Nick compares Gatsby to a earthquake machine or a seismograph, which shows that Gatsby is like a machine and not completely human. In other words, Gatsby, like a machine, can perfectly copies the, what does he copy? Imperfectly copies, or let's say captures, the um, promises of life, or the moneyed slash famous life. Okay, what I wrote here is not the best, but that's okay. The point is to try to understand the type of comparisons that Nick is making here. I'm going to reread this. I might do some edits, I might not, but let me tell you, if you get this much, I'll be really, really happy. Let me reread this again. This passage portrays Gatsby as a romantic. This is because Gatsby is very sensitive to the promises of life. Nick compares Gatsby to an earthquake machine or a seismograph, which shows that Gatsby is like a machine and not completely human. In other words, Gatsby, like a machine, imperfectly captures the promises of life, or the moneyed, famous life. If in your mind, here's a thought experiment, if you created a robot that looked exactly like you, talked like you, had the same voice, recorded your voice, about your same height, same number of pimples on your face, is that machine still you? I bet inside you would guess that no, that machine is not me, it's not human. And in fact, it can never be me, even though it might have the same voice, it might have the same manners, it might act the same way. Because, and like that, Gatsby could never perhaps be like the people with money, the people with old money and pedigrees and families that are rich, right? Let's look at the last little bit here. I've highlighted it here to kind of re-emphasize the fact that Gatsby is very sensitive in a very, very romantic way. He's very sensitive to his dreams, and he's very romantic in the sense that he's very emotional. This responsiveness had nothing to do with the flabby impressionability, which is dignified under the name of creative temperament. Don't worry about that. It was an extraordinary gift for hope, a romantic readiness such as I have never found in any other person, and which is not likely I shall ever find again. So again, Nick re-emphasizes that Gatsby has an extraordinary gift for hope, a romantic readiness that no one else has. Only Gatsby is big enough, ballsy enough, audacious enough to dream and believe that he can attain his dreams. I'm going to end with a kind of a story. You can stop the video if you like. But when I met President Obama and he gave that sheet of paper to my students when it says, dream big dreams, work hard, and you'll be successful. And I think most students get that and they read it and they're like, oh, wait, yay, that's great. But then after a couple of days or maybe a couple of months, they will maybe start making compromises in their dreams. Oh, maybe I won't go to a four-year college. I'll go to LMC instead. Oh, maybe I won't go to LMC. I just want to go get a job. Oh, maybe I won't want to get a job. I can take a break here and because I got to do something. Everyone compromises their dreams. But Gatsby, that guy, he actually believed that he could be someone, even though he was no one. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.